For 2.3, we've focused on adding new post-processing features. Let's check them out. We moved the channel picker into a tab control to offer channel-specific options like the new RDSPI filter. By using it, the map and graph reports will include only the points that have the selected PI codes. This might be useful to generate report only for points belonging to a specific repeater. Note that others will include points that either have non-recurring PI codes or no code at all. For the demo, let's disable all but the first channel. For the model comparison reports, we've moved the settings around to group them in functional groups. The first group includes settings related to the model files. The next group includes a map and a graph comparing the RF level with the model. In 2.3, we added the option to calculate the average of nearby points to many of the available reports, which can help analysis. The last three groups of settings are related to the polar graphs. Nomad 2.3 supports showing the point count for each slice and lets you ignore slices that don't have enough points. Looking at the reports in the HD radio tab, we added the option of averaging the analog to digital radio reports. As for the analog reports in the next tab, we also added the option to average the point values. We also modified the RDSPI report to show up to 6 recurring RDSPI codes as different colored points on the map. And at the bottom of the tab, we added new reports that compare the main RF level with the 4 adjacent frequencies. Finally, we added 3 new comparative reports in the last tab that compare the recorded data with another campaign's data. These can be very helpful to compare campaign data recorded before and after an antenna repair, maintenance or upgrade. To change map report settings, click on the cog icon at the top right of the dialog. Amongst all the settings available in this dialog, you will find a place to change the number of points to be used in the data averaging feature. Now let's enable all the reports via the button at the top left and start the report generation. The new results dialog lets us know how many reports were successfully generated and if there were any that failed. Let's check the new log file containing details of the report generation. The log file contains all the settings selected, list of the reports that were created successfully, as well as a list of the failures. Now let's look at the summary report that was generated. Each graph and map that was generated will be included in this Word document. The numbers all around the polar graph are the point counts for each slice. Note that many of the next graphs and maps were generated with the average value of up to 9 nearby points, as selected on the settings dialog. And here are the 4 new comparative maps showing the delta between the main RF level and each of the adjacent frequencies. Now let's look at another campaign to show what the campaign comparative reports look like. The particular campaign was done after a new repeater was turned on, while the other campaign listed in the Comparative Report tab was done without the repeater. Done. Now let's check the summary report. Note that the campaign with the repeater turned on contained significantly less points than the other, so what is included on the map is only the dataset that is common to both campaigns. The RF level graph seems to show a couple of areas where the repeater clearly boosted the signal. Now let's check the multipath map and graph. Ouch. The repeater must not have been configured correctly, as the graph shows higher multipath values on the blue line representing the campaign with the repeater turned on. Clearly, it helps to have access to more than just RF levels.